Alright, in this video I'm going to be ranking my top 10 slice of life anime. So to get the sort of definition of what slice of life anime is, my anime list marks these as slice of life. But slice of life shows are basically cozy, just kind of about the day-to-day life of the characters, usually not super plot driven, which some people find very boring. I enjoy that vibe. I think a lot of people think that's like I only like slice of life shows. It's more so about the characters for me. Sometimes if a show is too laid back, then I also feel a little aimless. But these 10 shows I enjoyed. Some of them have a little bit of a fantastical, element to them. My anime list still sorts them as slice of life. Number 10 is Laid Back Camp. I've only seen the first season. This is the definition of just cozy show. They go camping, they eat good food, they hang out. It's not anything super groundbreaking or substantial, but if you just want to have a cozy show and you want to be hungry, this is like the definition. Probably the least plot driven or any sort of driven show on this list. I don't know about the future seasons or the seasons after season 1, but season 1 is pretty low key. Number 9 is Barakamon. Barakamon is about a calligrapher who's like this very famous, young hotshot. And then he kind of gets into some trouble, kind of loses his temper, and he gets sort of like sent to this island to cool off, like this very low-key island community. And it's there he befriends this little girl and just sort of learns to relax a bit and just enjoy the process and enjoy the people around him. It's really good. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just remember really liking the dynamic between the main character and the kid. The kid is also voiced by a real kid. I always like that. I feel like it really adds a nice organic quality to the delivery, to the performance. It's just a sweet show, and it's just very satisfying seeing this main character just sort of mature and grow. Oftentimes that's all I really need in a slice of life sort of laid back show. It's just like, I do want some character growth. I do want to see progression. And I think this one's a really solid example of that. Number 8 is Sweetness and Lightning. Now I like the manga better, actually, but the anime is still good. This is about a widower who just starts cooking for his daughter, and then this high school girl comes and helps them out, and they become kind of like this sort of like family. Another one where the kid is voiced by a kid. The food looks really good. And it deals with, topics of grief and missing someone. And, I like that. I'm a sucker for that kind of story. Again, I think I prefer the manga. I kind of like the charm of its art. But if you're an anime watcher, I think the anime is good too. And I think it helps that, again, the kid's performance as a kid, from a real kid, is very, very charming. Number 7 is Hyoka. Hyoka is a KyoAni show that, again, has the beautiful animation of a KyoAni production. It's about solving mysteries, but they're really like low-key, no-stakes mysteries. It's a kind of a nice, charming change of pace from like, not every mystery show has to be about murders and grisly stuff. And then there's like a nice sort of romance. I think the characters are very charming. It's kind of a slow burn. I think it helps that KyoAni their polish on stuff just really makes it beautiful to look at. It's cute. Sometimes you just want a cute, low-key show, clever writing. I do like the sort of mysteries. I just haven't really seen anything that does like low-key mysteries. Kind of like what you'd see in like Encyclopedia Brown or something, It's just an interesting idea that you wouldn't think of. Normally mysteries have to be these huge, crazy events, but it can be a nice backdrop for a fun, hanging out, slightly romantic story. Number 6 is Lucky Star. This one I think a lot of people just can't stand. I think it's very funny. It is the definition, though, of like anime girls shooting the shit, hanging out. It is not plot driven. It is just goofy conversations. There's some comedy, some broad comedy sprinkled in there too. Another KyoAni show. If the idea of like 4 girls just talking about how they eat like a chocolate coronet, like a pastry, that's one of the famous conversations in the show. If that sounds absolutely mind-numbing to you, then don't watch it. I think the key to a good slice of life show is, do I think the characters are entertaining? Do I like how they interact with each other? If so, I don't care what they're doing. If they're just shooting the shit and they're fun characters, I like watching that. It's like the Seinfeld. It's like the anime girl Seinfeld with some pretty fun absurdist humor sprinkled in there. Number 5 is Natsume's Book of Friends. I have seen 4 seasons of this show. I know there's more to watch, and I plan on watching them. It's about a boy whose grandma used to like have this book where she kind of like took the names of yokai into this book to kind of like collect their names as like, you are now, kind of belong to me. And then this kid, like, his grandma passed away, and he's kind of like trying to free these yokai by giving them back their names. There's a supernatural, because it's all about him interacting with the yokai. But it's still very much a slice of life show. It's episodic. It's really, really well written. There's a lot of sad stories, a lot of heartwarming stories, really quiet episodes. It's definitely a vibe, and I think it really fits that slice of life vibe for sure. A very compassionate, empathetic show as well. It's interesting because like the kid really resented being able to see yokai, but he has this gift to see them, but as a kid, it really gave him a lot of trouble because he would like get, people were like, you're crazy, and now he's kind of like come to terms with it. And there's this, very sweet dynamic. Like he has like, they're not like foster parents, but they're like relatives of relatives. Like he would get shunted around to different families, and like he really cares about his current like foster parents and wants to, not make trouble for them. It's just great. It's just a great, like whenever I watch a new season of this, I'm always impressed by the writing in it. And then there's like these fun, recurring characters that show up. Other characters who can see yokai and, that kind of thing. It sort of grows this world of characters without getting too high stakes. I don't always need every show to be high stakes. And again, that's why this one can have cool yokai stories and things like that, but still preserve that warm, cozy feeling. Sometimes it's a shame with some shows or series where the beginning, like maybe the first part is like really cozy and fun, and you get to see the characters interact, and then the plot starts kicking in, and you kind of it's like a roller coaster, which is fun, but then you kind of lose that character stuff. This is a show that's all about the character stuff. Number 4 is Love Live Sunshine. Now, I know what you're thinking. Love Live? Really? Yes, really. Love Live rules. I've watched a lot of the Love Live shows. My favorite is Sunshine. In fact, I would say if you only watch one Love Live show, Sunshine is the one to watch. It's just about high school girls trying to become school idols. There's a whole school idol competition, and they gotta bring the group together and get better. It's way better than you would think. Sunshine in particular, though, the message of it and like the emotional stuff is really poignant. It's really good. Like, I find the ending of the show so moving. I think it's one of my favorite endings in an anime ever, if I'm being totally honest. And there's something very unique about Sunshine's events and the story that it just makes it stand out for me. I mean, the music is great too. The songs are bangers. Even when they're not training or singing, it's funny to watch them interact. They're really entertaining. But then they get to have these nice, warm character moments. It's great, man. Jay, the editor of my channel, and we convinced some friends to watch it who had never seen any Love Live ever, and they were like in. Like they loved it. I think you don't need to have any history with Love Live to enjoy what is a very good show. I think what makes Love Live Sunshine so good is that it is written by Juki Hanada, who is one of my favorite anime writers, and he's done like Steins Gate and Sound Euphonium and 3 of the different Love Live shows. He's great. He's such a good writer, does really good character stuff. I know some people are skeptical. Give it a chance. It's way more depth to it than you would think on its surface. Number 3 is Mushishi. This is another supernatural slice of life show. I'd say it's like Natsume, but even moodier and a little grimmer. But I think it still captures the joy of life, the sorrow of life. I guess I should explain what it is. Mushishi are essentially creatures that are normally invisible to the human eye. And this guy Ginkgo, he's a Mushishi who goes around to investigate Mushi and help people. But he doesn't view the Mushi as evil. They are not malicious. They are simply entities that exist, and they affect people's lives in dramatically different ways. The Mushi are very fascinating. Each episode is completely different in terms of concept. Very quiet show, very thoughtful show. Really makes you feel stuff. one of my favorite shows of all time. The only reason it's not higher is it is a little supernatural. So on this list in particular, maybe it goes a little lower because it's not purely slice of life, but I would say it definitely still counts. I'd say it's still definitely a slice of life show. It just covers all the facets of life, including the sad parts and the angry parts. But, you know, it delves into all those emotions with really interesting supernatural storytelling on top of it. Number 2 is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I've only seen the first season. I have not seen the second season yet. This is in the KyoAni show. I love KyoAni, probably my favorite studio of all time. And I'll be totally honest, when I first saw this show announced, I was like, that looks like garbage. Not garbage, but like kind of trashy. I was like, what is this? Looks like some horny show, whatever. I wasn't super interested, if I'm being totally frank. And then I heard, hey, it's good. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Yes, there is horny stuff in it, and some elements of it I really don't love. But despite all that, I think the direction is warm, it's funny. The show is at its best when it's about 2 dragon moms and their adopted dragon daughter. And it's so lovely and warm in that respect. And then the comedy really hits for me. It's really funny. And I think the dynamic between Toru and Kobayashi is really charming. Any segment with the kid, I'm like, oh god, I'm always just waiting for those to end. But the Fafnir is a great, funny character. I love those segments. I'd say overall, the segments are mainly quite funny or warm. And every now and then there's, you know, the anime bullshit you kind of have to just sit through. I can't recommend it to everyone because of, you know, some of the more pervy stuff in it, because don't get me wrong, there is stuff like that. If you're an anime veteran or someone who's seasoned in anime, then you're like, okay, I've seen this before. If you haven't, if you're sort of new to anime, it's a really good show, but I don't know if I can fully recommend it to everybody. I'm kind of making it sound way worse. Well, anyway, it's a good show. And I really liked that director's work. He unfortunately passed away in the KyoAni fire, which it was just devastating. Yasuhiro Takemoto. And he did like Full Metal Panic, especially Fumofu, I just love. You know, Lucky Star, which I already mentioned. He did some work, not for directing. Well, he did a little directing for like Sound Euphonium. He was one of KyoAni's like, you know, staple guys. And he was so good. Kobayashi, it's a great show. If you can, with the caveat of it's got anime nonsense in it, it's still really, really good. And finally, number 1 is Bunny Drop. And yes, don't read the manga. Okay, let's just get past that. This is the pinnacle of slice of life for me. A guy who just kind of accidentally becomes an adoptive dad. This kid, she is like the love child of his grandpa. He just finds out about it at a funeral. And then he's like, all right, I guess I'm going to raise this kid because nobody wants to raise this kid. The kid is played by a real kid. Again, I think that is always a really adds a lot to it. And it's just about him becoming a dad. Just figuring he's someone who's never been with anyone. He's never like, you know, even thought about being a dad, and just learning to do that. And, you know, getting your kid to school and, you know, helping them, you know, just grow up. God, it's so good. I love it. Whenever I rewatch, I'm like, God, this is okay. If every slice of life show was done this well, then yes, I think I would watch even more of it. Because you could argue there's not much plot going on. There's a little bit, like they're kind of just trying to figure out who the mom is and things like that. But other than that, I could just watch this warm show of like a dad raising his kid. And it's just so warm and engaging and charming. I don't know. So I think this to me is like the definition of like slice of life. The sort of strength of slice of life is it can take its time, you can get to know the characters and just enjoy watching them interact and live. That is, I think, what makes slice of life so appealing to people. That was my top 10 slice of life anime. Now, some anime you might think would be on this list maybe don't qualify by my anime list rules because they're more of a drama or more of a comedy or whatever, or a sports anime. Those I'll do in like a separate list sometime. But if there are any shows on this list that you think are definitely slice of life that you would recommend to me, let me know in the comments because I'm always looking for new shows to watch. But yeah, Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.